Good morning and Jai Hind, dear children. So today what we'll be doing is we'll be talking about the exclamatory sentences, how to change the exclamatory sentences into indirect speech. Okay, so for that we need to remember a few things like we all must be aware of the tags, the exclamatory words which are used. Okay, and the exclamatory words, what kind of a feeling they convey, what kind of an emotion they talk about, that needs to be taken care of. So now with that I would like to share my screen with a very good video which I have come across, and I would just keep on explaining the during the video which I'll be sharing. Okay, it's a very beautiful self-exclamatory video. Okay, so as I told you that the exclamatory sentences, they talk about strong emotions. So now let's see what this person is talking about.
Or feelings. They end with exclamation mark. There can be two forms of exclamatory sentence. Number one, only a word is in exclamatory form. This word is called as an interjection. And number two, the entire sentence is in exclamatory form. Let's look into examples wherein only an exclamatory word is used. Hooray, we won the match. Alas, he died yesterday. Now, let's look into examples wherein the whole sentence is in exclamatory form. What a place it is. How stupid you are.
So now children, you might have understood exactly what kind of sentences you might come across. You might come across sentences in which, the exclamatory words are used in the form of like interjection, like as you have seen the first sentence, it is hooray, we won the match. So that means you are, you are very happy that you won the match. Alas, he died yesterday. So thereby the emotion conveyed is of sorrow. Okay, and now let's look at the other way. The other way in which you would come across these exclamatory sentences are like the whole sentence, the entire sentence would be in the exclamatory form, like what a place it is, what a pleasant surprise, how stupid you are, how unpleasant it was. Okay, so that means it can talk about strong emotions. At the same time, it can also talk about strong feelings in the entire sentence.
Notice the feelings and emotions in all four examples that we just identify. In the identification process, we need to identify the subject, object,
Okay, now the next step is to identify how, the conversion needs to be done. So for this, there are precisely 7 steps. We'll be dealing with it one by one. The very first step is to identify the subject and the object in the sentence. Okay.
Reporting verb, pronoun, tense, time denoting words, and exclamatory words.
Okay, so now second step is that you need to look into the reporting verb. You need to, replace the reporting verbs with, say, words like exclaimed with joy, exclaimed with sadness, exclaimed with applause, exclaimed with surprise, exclaimed with maybe sorrow. Okay, so these are to be done in accordance with the interjection words. That means the exclamation tags which are used. Okay, and then after that, what do? We replace the quotes, the punctuation mark which are used, say the opening quote and the close quote, with the conjunction that. Okay, that is the fourth step. Now the fifth step is that how do we change the pronoun? Okay, now when I'm talking about the change of pronoun, children, please remember that when it is, first person, we change the subject, then the second person, it is the object. When it is, the third person, there is no change. And thereby, we again recollect, we just recall that acronym SON. Okay, if you remember SON, that means you remember the change of the persons. All right. Now, after that, we jump on to the change of the tenses. How there is a shift of, say, tenses. It is the same, the simple present tense will be simple past, and then the past will be in perfect tense. So whatever we did, the way we had been changing the tenses in the previous types of sentences, same we'll be following in the exclamatory sentences also. Now after that, what is the next step? The next step is, remember the adverb of time. Now becomes then today becomes that day, then yesterday becomes the last day or the previous day. Okay, so these things will be taken care of. And then the last, that is the most important step, that is the usage of the exclamatory words. That means I'll be changing how I shall change the exclamatory sentence into an assertive sentence. Okay, so precisely these are the steps, these are the 7 important steps which we need to take care of while changing an exclamatory sentence into an assertive sentence in the reported speech. So let's take a quick look how this has been done in this video. So I just gave you a briefing. Okay, so in this video, you would come across how it is done with proper examples.
Step 2 is the change of reporting verb. When the exclamatory sentence is created by using an exclamatory word only, then we need to check that word, and as per the feelings of the word, we replace said or said to in the direct speech. If the words in the reported speech are wow, hooray, aha, ha, then said or said to gets converted to exclaimed with joy. If the words are what, good God, then said or said to converts to exclaimed with surprise. If the words are well done, here, then said or said to converts to exclaimed with applause. If the word is bravo, then the sentence structure is like this: applauded plus object plus saying.
Okay, so now hereby, this is not very, descriptively mentioned in our books. So I would appreciate if you all write these somewhere, in your books, maybe at some side or just in the margin, or, wherever you get space in that particular page, so that you don't need to refer, or so that you need not look into some other place, so as in how to replace or rather change the reporting verbs as per the feelings. Remember, if it is wow, hurrah, aha, ha, it will be replaced with exclaimed with joy. If it is what, good God, so it will be exclaimed with surprise. If it is well done, here, so it will be exclaimed with applause. Okay, well done. That means you are very happy and you are appreciating. Okay, if it is bravo, so it will be again appreciating with the object and the saying, whatever is being said.
If the word is sorry, it gets converted to exclaimed with regret. If the word is poo, nonsense, then said or said to converts to exclaimed with contempt. O gets converted to exclaimed with surprise or sorrow. How gets converted to exclaimed with surprise or regret. Alas gets converted to exclaimed with sorrow or grief.
So children, you can easily, segregate, I would say. Like I can see the words oh and how. Okay, so how it's generally, you won't find it. It's like rarest amongst rare, used as an exclamation in exclamatory sentences. Okay, so you can see, oh, it's like, oh, when I'm, saying, when my eyes are popping out, it's like, oh, and I'm a little bit, smiling. So that means I'm exclaiming, I'm just sharing my feelings with surprise. And if I wish to, show sadness and grief, then it will be, oh, isn't it? So there is a change in the feeling. So you need to understand the reporting speech. Okay, so whether it is to be exclaimed with surprise or it is exclaimed with sorrow. Okay, now the same goes for alas. Alas will be having like sorrow or grief. So you need to really take care of the reporting speech, what is there in the quoted version. Okay, now let's quickly look.
And based on that, we need to change the reporting verb as we just studied. For example, what a beautiful flower. Here we might step number 3, replacement of a comma and inverted comma with conjunction that. Step 4, change of pronoun. Pronoun will change as per this workflow. First person in the reported speech will be converted as per subject, second person as per object, and third person will remain unchanged.
So remember this briefing I gave you in the very beginning, that there will be a change of pronoun depending on the subject. If it is in first person, if it is in second person, it would depend on the object, and the third person will be simply no. So that calls for SON, that acronym, which we need to remember. Okay, so now let's see what is the next thing. Update time specific verbs. Please remember, these we had
Step
done.
7, convert an exclamatory sentence to assertive. We have to learn 3 important rules where the whole sentence is in exclamatory form. Number 1, if the sentence structure of the reported speech is how or what plus a or an plus adjective, we need to convert it into a or an plus very plus adjective. For example, what a lovely garden. It gets converted to a very lovely garden.
Okay, so let's understand this. This is very important. Now, there are 3 rules according to this video. And again, I'm telling you, children, this is not mentioned anywhere in the book. Okay, this is just, I found it to be appropriate for all of you to understand, so that thereby I'm sharing it. Now, let's understand it. In a reported speech, if we have the words like how or what, and then you have these articles a or an, and then followed by an adjective like what a lovely garden. So you have this what, you have an article, you have this adjective. Okay, and then you have the noun, of course. So that will change into a very lovely garden. That means you will have that a or an, that is the article. You will be joined by very, and then the adjective which was used in the reporting speech rather. Okay, now let's look at the second rule.
If the sentence structure of reported speech is how or what plus a or an plus noun, it gets converted to a or an plus great or good plus noun. For example, what a place gets converted to a great place.
Okay, so now this is another, I would say, tip. If in the reported speech you have again the words like what or how, followed by the article, and then this time followed by the noun. Okay, please understand, followed by the noun. So I'm not talking about the adjective anymore. So thereby, what will happen when I'm changing it into the indirect speech? In the indirect speech, you will come across, rather you will use the article first, and then either of the two words like great or good followed by the noun which was there in the reported speech. Okay, so if it was a water place, then it would change into a great place or a good place. Now let's see the third rule.
And number 3, in case where subject and verb are not provided, we use words like it was. For example, what an opportunity. It gets converted to it was a great opportunity.
Okay, so this is the last exception, that is, supposing if you don't really have any subject or any verb in that, in that reporting speech, okay, in that direct speech, what would happen then? You will simply make it as an assertive sentence that it was dash 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 whatever. Okay, so here it is like what an opportunity, what an opportunity. Okay, so that will change into it was a great opportunity. All right, so depending on the sentence, of course. All right, so let's see what's next, coming up next.
Apart from that, we have to remove the exclamatory mark and put a full stop or period at the end of the sentence. Let's revise the 7th step again. Step number 1 is identification. We need to identify the subject, object, reporting verb, pronoun, tense, time denoting words, and exclamatory words. Step number 2, change of reporting verb. The reporting verb will change as per this workflow. Step number 3, replacement of a comma and inverted comma with conjunction that. Step number 4, change of pronoun. The pronoun will change as per this workflow. Step number 5, change of tense. Tense will change as per this workflow.
So these are simply
Step number
recap.
6, change of time denoting words. Time denoting words will change as per this workflow.
So this is just a repeated
and step number
telecast.
7, convert
This
an
is very
exclamatory
important
sentence to assertive. Here we need to add appropriate words if required to complete the meaning of the sentence and replace exclamatory mark with a full stop or period. A most important tip for you: if the direct speech is having a structure as subject plus reporting verb plus reported speech, then in the indirect speech, the structure will be subject plus exclaimed with an appropriate word that we just saw plus that plus reported speech.
Now, this is again, the tips which I had been sharing throughout in all the topics which I have dealt till now. Okay, so let's keep it somewhere so that, it's there in our minds. If the direct speech has got, as told by Sir, subject, then the reporting verb, and then the reporting speech, how will you change? So remembering those 7 steps, definitely we'll first start with the subject, then exclaimed with, remember those conversions with joy, with sorrow, with applause, with pride, with, sorry, with grief, whatever. So that needs to be done. Then we'll start off with, removing the punctuation marks, the comma and the quotes we'll replace with the conjunction that, and then followed by the reporting speech. Okay, now let's see the next step.
Step 3 to 7 needs to be applied in the reported speech. If the direct speech is having a structure as subject plus reporting verb plus object plus reported speech, then in the indirect speech, the structure will be subject plus exclaimed or a verb plus object plus that plus reported speech.
So this is in fact, the same thing, but with a little difference. The difference is the placement of the, rather I would say the intervention of the object. Now, if children, in the direct speech, if you have, say, if the structure of the sentence is like subject, and then you have the reporting verb, and then this extra thing, this alien, this uninvited guest comes to your home, this object, okay, and then you have the reporting speech. You know what you'll have to do? You cannot simply throw away the object. You cannot tell your guest to simply leave, isn't it? So thereby, what will you do? You will start with the subject. Then, as I had told you, exclaimed with whatever, or if you have the verb, whatever it is. It depends upon the sentence. Then you will bring this guest along with you, exclaimed with joy or whatever is the verb and all, and then this object will come. Then you will put the conjunction, and then you will do that reporting speech. And in that, please remember that you will follow all the steps from the third step, fourth step, fifth, sixth, and seventh. That means you will change the punctuation mark. That is already done by that. Then you will change the tense. Then you will change the pronoun. After that, you will change those time specific words. And lastly, what you will do, you will change the exclamatory sentence and make it an assertive sentence. Okay.
Here, the verb could be providing the sense or the meaning of the exclamatory sentence. Also, step 3 to 7 needs to be applied in the reported speech. Now we have learned the 7-step formula and an important structure. Let's understand the application of these steps with an example. He said, "Hooray, I won the race." Step 1 is identify. Here, he is the subject, said is the reporting verb. The pronoun is I. The sentence is in simple past and hooray is the exclamatory word. Step 2, change of reporting verb. Here, hooray is the feeling of joy. So, we will be replacing said with exclaimed with joy. Remember that the word hooray will be removed. Step 3, replacement of a comma and inverted comma with the conjunction that. So, the sentence will become like this. He exclaimed with joy that. Step 4, change of pronoun. The pronoun I will be changed to he, as we just learned that first person will change as per subject. Step 5, change of tense. Here, simple past gets converted to past perfect. So the sentence will become like this. He exclaimed with joy that he had won the race. Step 6, change of time denoting word. But as there is no time denoting words, this step won't come. And step 7, convert an exclamatory sentence to assertive. As the sentence is providing complete meaning by itself, we don't require to add any additional words. We have to remove the exclamatory mark and put a full stop or a period at the end of the sentence. Finally, the sentence will become like this. He exclaimed with joy that he had won the race. And we can see that the sentence is as per the structure, subject plus exclaimed with plus that plus reported speech.
Okay, so that was very nicely explained, I would say. Let's just repeat it again. He said, "Hurrah, I won the race." So the first step, as I told you, that we need to decipher what is the subject. So here, he is the subject. Then yes, this we need to look for the reporting verb. So here, said is the reporting verb. What is hooray? It is the exclamatory tag. Then about the pronoun, so I is the first person. Then you have the verb, that is one. And then won the race. So this is in which tense? It's in the simple past tense. Now, second step is what? We need to talk about changing of the reporting verb. So now this will be exclaimed with joy, because you can see, the image here, that hooray, I won the race. So that means I'm very happy. I'm very excited. So it will be exclaimed with joy. Now the third is what? Replace the punctuation mark with the conjunction. So it will be he exclaimed with joy that. Now after that, what was the step? Step 4 was we will change the pronoun. The first person will be the third person. Okay. So the first person will become the subject. So subject is what? It is he. Okay. Then we need to talk about the tense. So he exclaimed with joy that he had won the race. So simple past tense to change into perfect tense. Now we don't have any time denoting word, so we will skip that step. The last step is what? To convert an exclamatory into an assertive sentence. So what will be the answer? It is like, yeah, he exclaimed with joy that he had won the race. Now let's see whether we, deduced it in the correct manner or not. So we have the subject he, then exclaimed with joy. That is how we are supposed to, change this hurrah into the reporting verb. So that is there. Then we have the conjunction. Then he had won the race. So that is the reported speech. Okay. Now let's see, what do we have next?
This is a 7-step formula to convert a direct speech to indirect speech. Now, I will be using the structure only for the next 2 examples to convert a direct speech to indirect. If you are facing difficulty in following the structure, please go step by step. Let's look. Structure in indirect speech will be subject plus exclaimed or a verb plus object plus that plus reported speech. Let's follow the structure and complete the sentence. The subject is the teacher. As the teacher is praising or applauding the student, we can use applauded here. The object is the student. Saying will be added after the object as we just learned in our workflow in step 2. Then we will remove the word bravo as we learned in our rules. Then that will come. Then we will change the pronoun, backshift the tense in the reported speech and change the time denoting word. So the reported speech will become like this. He had secured first grade in that examination. Notice the change of pronoun, tense and time denoting words. The final sentence is in indirect form. That is, the teacher applauded the student saying that he had secured first grade.
Okay, so this is, remember the second, I think it was the second tip which we were, talking about. So let's take a look into this particular example wherein you have an object, you have the time denoting word also. Okay, the teacher said to the student, bravo, you secured first grade in this examination. So you have here subject, teacher, object is the student, then reporting verb used here is said, then this is the whole reporting speech. Okay, so now what was the formula? The formula was that it will be subject plus exclaimed or, the verb, and then you have the object, then you have the conjunction, followed by the reporting speech. So it will be something like the teacher, then the reporting verb is what? Bravo. That means you are very happy, you are feeling proud, isn't it? So it will be the teacher applauded the student. Okay, applauded the student. Object is the student, saying that he had secured. So now he had secured, you secured. So you is the second person. Now you will change into what? Into the object. And who is the object here? The student. Okay, so here the student can be he or she because the gender is not specified. All right, so he or she had secured. So now here it is simple past, so it will be in past perfect. Then in this examination, so this will change into that examination. Okay.
In that examination. Wow, we learned another way to convert a direct speech to indirect. Let's look into the next example. She said, alas, he died due to corona yesterday. Here, the direct speech structure is subject plus reporting verb plus reported speech. The indirect speech structure will be subject plus exclaimed with plus that plus reported speech. Following the structure, the sentence will become like this. She exclaimed with sorrow that he had died due to corona the previous day. Notice the change in tense and time denoting word.
So this is a very simple one, yet another example with respect to the time denoting word. Okay, so here she said, alas, he died due to corona yesterday, right? So she is the subject, reporting verb used here is said, and then you have the whole speech. So when the structure is in this form, the answer will be in this form, that is subject plus exclaimed with what? If it is alas, that means it's sorrow, so it will be exclaimed with sorrow. Then you have the conjunction followed by the reported speech. Now reported speech is in past tense, so it will be in perfect tense, and since you have this yesterday as the time denoting word, so it will be the previous day. Okay, so that's it. Now let's see if we have any more examples.
Tanvi said, what a lovely garden it is. Here, the whole sentence is in exclamatory form. So, let's convert it using the 7-step formula that we just learned. Step number 1, identify. Here, as it is in third person, plus lovely, and infinity it is. Let's start the identification process. Tanvi exclaimed with wonder that it was a very lovely garden.
Okay, so now here, this is, this is an entire sentence in an exclamatory form. Okay, so let's see. Tanvi said, what a lovely garden it is. So according to those steps, we will start, identifying. First, Tanvi is the subject, reporting verb is said, then it is in simple present tense, then here it is, the third person, the pronoun is in third person. So second step is exclaimed with wonder, that is change of the reporting verb, because you are very much surprised. Okay, so exclaimed with surprise also can be done. So now third step is, replacing the punctuation mark with the conjunction that. Then we start with the change of pronoun. Now this will remain the same. There is no
Let's
change.
Let's look into the last example. He said, what an opportunity.
No, let's...
An exclamatory sentence to assertive.
So now next is what? Change of tense. So that this is in present tense, so it will be in past tense. Then we don't have any change of, the time denoting word. So we won't, we'll just skip this step. And then we will jump onto the last step, that is exclamatory to assertive.
What plus a plus adjective, slowly. So it get converted to a plus very plus lovely, and we need to move it was and put after that, as we need to convert it. So the final sentence will become like this. Tanvi exclaimed with wonder that it was a very lovely garden.
So remember the tip which we were talking about before, that what a lovely will become a very lovely, and then that great and good, isn't it? So we need to keep those formulas in our minds. Okay, so the final answer will be Tanvi exclaimed with wonder, or with wonder, that it was a very lovely garden. So Tanvi exclaimed with joy that what a lovely garden it was. This will not be the final sentence. The final sentence will be Tanvi exclaimed with wonder, or exclaimed with joy that it was a very lovely garden. Okay, what a lovely garden will be, it was a very lovely garden. That means this exclamatory sentence will turn into an assertive sentence. Okay, so I think that was enough for the day to share with all of you, because if you can just go through this video once again and keep a note of all these steps which we were discussing along with the examples, then that will be crystal clear to all of you. And I'm very sure my children are very smart. They are very intelligent bunch of kids, and I'm really proud of you all. So please go through this video once again. Keep a note, keep a check of each and every step so that you don't land yourself in a soup. Okay. Now, after talking about all these types of sentences, I would like all of you to do this exercise D, which is there on page 163 and 164. Okay, I think I should stop sharing my screen. Yeah. Okay, and then the last topic is nothing but how you would change an indirect speech to a direct speech. So in that, we know that indirect speech, it is a means of reporting what somebody has told and informed, and without using the actual words. So now what you have to do is you need to change that reported speech into a reporting speech. Okay, so you would have a subject followed by the reporting verb, and then the punctuation marks, the quotes, and within that quote, the reporting sentence. Okay, so the best way to change this is to, mentally segregate the two parts of the sentences. And the main part should contain reporting verbs like tell, say, or even, requested, or maybe even suggested. Okay. Then the other part will contain the particular speech which is to be informed. Okay, this part will be the quoted section in a direct speech. Now, here you need to remember the punctuation mark. If you are about to change it into an interrogative, ensure that you put a question mark towards the end, followed by the close quotes. Okay, and if it is an entire sentence of exclamatory, please don't forget to put the exclamatory mark and then the close quotes. I think that's enough. Yeah, I think it's enough. And after that, you have one brainstorming exercise. So that is to be, changed to direct speech. So you can do it in your books itself. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's session, and please feel free to post your queries if you have any doubt. Otherwise, I would again ask you all to go back and start watching the video once again, and then thereby keep a note of all the steps which I have shared in this, and I think that will do the needful. Okay, so that's all from my side. Do take care of yourselves. Please be good the way you have been, and do your homework. Until then, see you again. Take care and Jai Hind.